Welcome to the No More Late Fees podcast. I'm Jackie.
And I'm Danielle, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. This week, we are talking about the 2000 teen comedy horror film Boltneck with our guests Ryan and Rob from the Radical Retro Rewind podcast. Welcome.
Hello.
Thank you. Hello.
Oh, that was a mouthful. Like
all those R's.
I know. Well, no, it's just like I don't know if this movie really I think it was released in the 2000s, but I think it's like a full 90s movie. But we'll get into that later. We're so glad you guys are on, and everybody listeners, if you want to get to know Ryan and Rob a little bit better, hit pause and check out their trailer and come back. We'll wait for you, no problem. Okay, you're back? Great. But before we dive in, let's get into some housekeeping. If you love the podcast and you want to support us, here are a few ways that you can.
Did you know writing us a review and or rating us helps us get more listeners? You should by now because we tell you every episode. If you want to be featured and help us grow, head on over to your favorite podcasting platform and leave us a review.
And don't forget to hit the subscribe button once you get there so that you can get alerted when new episodes are live.
And if you want exclusive content, stickers, lives, and access to our Burned Odds Spotify playlist, head on over to patreon.com/nomorelateFees and become a bestie. I have been GIF crazy lately, so you can get exclusive No More Late Fees GIFs because we make some faces.
Ooh.
Mostly Danielle, but...
A lot. I know I've done some in the last few episodes, so I'm very excited and also horrified to see what comes out. So
yes.
Definitely worth it.
Yep. So you have to be a Patreon member to see them. So pop on over.
All right, let's get into it. Boltneck. I kept wanting to. I think I must have texted both of you guys saying Bolthead, but. It is what it is. Yeah. The movie is about a brainy student who resurrects a dead classmate by transplanting the mind of a serial killer into the teen's body. Very idle hands is giving. Mm-hmm. The movie stars Matthew Lawrence, Justin Walker, Christine Lakin, Christian Payne, Shelley Duvall, Richard Moll, Charles Fleischer, Kenny Blank, Bianca Lawson, and Ryan Reynolds. The movie was directed by Mitch Marcus and was written by Dave Payne. You can watch it for free on YouTube. We are still supporting the strike, but we've so missed doing movies. So we found a indie movie. It's streaming for free. And yeah, that's pretty much it. We're still fully supporting the strike, but I know you guys missed some movies with us. So we're just trying to find indie or foreign movies to share with you guys. So let's get started with our ratings rewind.
You know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we will reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would give. Then at the end, we'll see if our current selves agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of would buy it again.
The best, would plan repeat.
5-day rental.
Would watch again.
2-day rental.
Okay, but nothing to write home about.
And same-day rental.
Straight up dumpster trash. And I think we're going to add another category, which is haven't seen, because I feel like none of us have seen this movie before. But I'll still go around and ask just in case. Has any of us we've never seen this, right?
So I would say that I have.
Oh, okay.
However, I didn't have full on memory or maybe even repeated memory of watching this, so I don't know if this counts, but I have seen this before.
Well, do you feel like you remember enough to give it a rating, or would you like to?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Oh, for sure. So out of the categories, I would say that this is a 2-day rental. Okay, but nothing to write home about.
Okay.
Excellent.
This movie This movie, let's get into the movie. So this movie came out in 2000. The movie did wrap in the summer of 1998 and was released straight to video. So I think there was like a pre-release and then they re-released it again in 2000 because this very much has 90s vibes. And the production company behind this was like some Japanese company that might have been linked to a Struck company, but like it still was independent in Japan. I don't know, but it did feel very much like a TV movie more than anything.
Yes.
Most of the posters say Boltneck, but it was also released as Big Monster on Campus. And also when you watch it, it says Teen Monster. So we're in
this movie, I feel like, is running away from itself. It's like alias after alias after alias. Have you seen Teen Wolf on Teen Wolf, Teen Monster on Campus? Oh no.
I just feel like Boltneck is better.
Yes.
Because Big Monster on Campus gives me the vibes of like college
yes,
than a high school, and Teen Monster just seems real boring. So I think
Except
Boltneck
he didn't have bolts in his neck.
Right.
kept waiting.
Right, but
we could have had Shovelhead.
Bucket hat.
Oh, there were a lot of hats.
There was a lot of fashion
staple
choices.
skull.
Yeah.
But then there was like some odd fashion choices, and you're like, did this just go to the 80s? And
right.
then the 1950s at some point?
I was super surprised more than anything how stacked the cast was.
Yes.
Yeah.
So like we have Ryan Reynolds, obviously, but then you have like the who's who of 90s teen TV shows mainly. Like these are a lot of TV actors. But what I love is that I found an old article from Variety announcing that this movie had wrapped, and they did in that article, I think they called it Big Monster on Campus. And the two people that they highlighted in that article was Justin Walker, because remember, he was just like, it was so not too far from Clueless.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other person was, what's the dad's name again?
I was going to say Shelley Duvall.
No, it was Reinhold. Yeah, I mean, there's so many people to pick from, but like that's who they picked was Justin Walker, sorry.
Justin Walker, yeah.
And Judge Reinhold.
When I saw the dad, I turned to my husband and I go, it's the weenie whistle guy. Because he's in Santa Claus and he just wanted a weenie whistle. That's how I always remember him.
It's so funny, like out of all the movies he's been in, and like that is all I kept thinking was the stepdad from Santa Claus. I was like, this is so disrespectful to this man. Because he's been in so many movies.
Yeah, he's I should refer him better with Beverly Hills Cop, but he is vice versa to me, and he's also Gremlins to me. That's what I see with Judge Reinhold. I think a lot of people would refer Fast Times to Judge, but yeah, he's vice versa with me. So yeah, that's my Judge Reinhold. But yeah, I noticed Justin Walker and I was like, oh my god, it's Cake Boy. I forgot he was in this.
And he's so extra. Him and his bestie in this movie, Tuttle, give off two different vibes. They give off the two guys from Hocus Pocus.
Yes, that I was calling them a knockoff. Is it Ice Rob?
Yeah, Ice. And then also Murray and Sean from the Clueless TV show. Just maybe some of the outfits, like they almost look like they're matching sometimes.
Yeah.
Then we have Christine Lakin, who Step by Step, and then just Shelley.
Susan Knight.
Huh?
She's Susan Knight to me.
Susan
From
Knight.
Veronica Mars.
Oh, Sweet Knees.
Sweet Knees.
Right. But then like randomly, there's Shelley Duvall, there's Richard Moll, and I'm just like, What the hell?
Yeah.
It's just, what happened to Shelley?
Oh, that is a very sad story.
No, I just meant like, I
Oh.
haven't seen her in so long. I was just shocked.
There's like a whole account right now, I think, on Instagram where she was like the head of the Shelley Duvall fan club, and I don't know if she made it herself, but whatever it was, she met with Shelley, and she's doing like a lot of charity for her and helping her raise things for her housing situation. But I think she's in a new movie. Or she filmed something recently. She's returning in acting in some form.
That's good.
Another surprise for me was Kenny Blank, who I used to like love the show. Is it Parenthood? I think
Parenthood, yes.
And I was like, oh, I loved his sarcasm in this movie. His levity just kind of like actually adds some comedic timing. Like he's far and above a better actor than most.
Yeah.
I'll say it. And then my boo, Bianca Lawson was the best.
She's probably 40 in this, still looking like she's in high school.
Ageless woman.
So fucking hot in this movie. Like,
she really did.
Do you see how they were admiring her chest and how she was very fully developed? I'm like, yeah, because she's the only grown woman in this movie. Of course she's gonna look good.
Grown woman.
I was surprised to find out this was her movie debut.
Yes, yeah. Because that's honestly, out of everyone in this movie, I'm sorry, Ryan, when she came on the screen, I'm like, oh yes, I am in my elements. Kendra the Vampire Slayer is here, and I just kept waiting for her to come back. So that was a really nice surprise.
I was hoping her and Ryan would hook up in this movie, but they didn't, so that was disappointing. He wasn't the greatest actor in this movie. I'm not gonna lie.
It was still giving Nickelodeon. Like,
oh yeah,
15. Oh my god,
15,
his acting in
course.
15. Lord Jesus. Okay.
But then you would get little glimpses of like the Ryan we know today, and I was like, there it is.
That's Jackie. Yeah. That's what I saw too. There's like little signs of it.
It's developing. Just him. It's when he's like, okay, I'm going to stop acting and just be myself. That's his bread and butter.
That's what's funny about it too, is that the movie the movie had him do versatile roles, right? But at the same time, because they didn't give us any footage of our serial killer, we don't know who he was mimicking. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he's also a new actor on the scene, like he could just play himself and nobody would know the wiser, right? Maybe this is how our serial killer acts, you know? But yeah, we didn't really get him mimicking anyone, so he could have honestly just done anything that he wanted.
At times he would do like the weird deep voice when he would like yell or emphasize it. I was like, that was a choice. Like, is this like the serial killer coming through? But then
I am going to say that was post-production decision. I don't blame Ryan for that. I don't think that he chose that. But to be fair, I was actually thinking about the voice, right? Because as you mentioned, this is somewhat a horror or in that sort of genre, right?
Right.
And given that it was Frankenstein's monster, not too much supernatural or magic going on in that story, but at the same time, like my sort of like pull to the movie was sort of this possible supernatural aspect. And yeah, he showed signs of a little super strength, but there wasn't much going on. Like he didn't need to be a Frankenstein's monster to even do this movie. So with that being said, like I liked the idea that they toyed with his voice just to hint that we're not just dealing with a kid with an attitude or like, you know, like there is an element of monster that this movie is supposedly advertising in the movie. Because I was like, without it, I'm like, okay, well, I didn't really need to watch this. But I mean, they tried it with the voice, but yeah, that definitely was a choice for sure.
They really did. But I took it, Rob, and this is our bread and butter, right? Charmed, that early episode when they have like Prue becoming a man, and they do like a Shannon Doherty, they do like a distorted voice thing on her voice, and it's this like so over the top kind of you know, kind of voice that it was funny. But yeah, I feel like I wonder if he did know if that was just post.
Yeah, There's a lot of choices being made.
Yes.
I have to give it up to Matthew Lawrence a little bit. Like,
Yes.
I feel like he carried this movie on his back.
I agree.
He was really consistent.
He was real intense.
Yeah.
He was definitely a geek I would still be down with. I don't care. Even after his speech, I was like, you giving me necro here, but I still do you. He looked so good because he was just passionate about it. But yeah, I thought he did a great job in the movie.
He looked so handsome, but after the speech, Rob, I couldn't. I was just like,
I was there.
This man knows a lot about death. That's.
And I do enjoy the tie-ins. Like, I know they tried to sort of do this modern take on an old story.
Frankenstein.
But not only did Frankenstein and his monster exist in this world, the dad and mom decided to name him Frank with the last name Stein. Like, please help me with this. How no one made the joke. And that he's also into like death as well.
Yeah.
One thing that just didn't make sense to me was his mouse Igor. And like how Igor just kept getting stronger and stronger and like biting through his cage and getting through. I just thought it was supposed to like have a climax, or like it's obviously hinting to something that we're going to see.
Yeah.
In
the mousetrap, right? Just disappear. That was it. Nothing ever seen again.
Well,
and
I think that was just alluding to the fact that Carl is going to have super strength, which we see in one scene.
Just one.
At the end.
That's what I mean. Like, I thought it was building up to something a little bit more, and it's literally, I'm going to toss someone across the room and that's it. And
he didn't have to use it then. He was saving it up for the end.
Right. Like, I thought it would have been like a hint that we've got to put Carl down because this turns out bad.
Spiraling. Yeah.
Right. So
I mean, they had an opportunity to do that. They could have easily just brought this kid back to life, and this awkward kid becomes cool. He didn't need to be a serial killer to know what's cool. But it also just speaks on the idea of like these high school kids, like they don't care where the bad boy comes from. Even if they kill people, they will definitely be smitten by someone who likes to kill people. But yeah, they definitely missed the mark on that. They were hinting at something bigger, and it sucks that he was already a serial killer, so there was nothing really to elevate him to. So yeah,
I kind of feel like, and hear me out, that some of the movie would have made a lot more sense if maybe Mr. or Mrs. Stein were dead. Because you have to ask yourself, like, why is this kid so obsessed with death? And I would say that, like, there should have been some sort of backstory of, like, a best friend or a parent passing away that he wants to end. Like, he doesn't want death to happen. He wants to stop it.
I think his dad doing weird experiments on brains just made him a weird kid that was obsessed with
but like he'd be obsessed with science, but why like stopping death? Like, his dad is focusing on brains, like having nothing to do with death. And he was like, the movie starts off with him like going into this
poem about the dog dying or dead dog.
It's real weird. Like, it's giving serial killer vibes to his damn self,
See, Rob?
Yeah, I don't know what the timeline is. I guess if I had to give him any kind of grace, it would be because of the death of Igor that he just went into this like, what is death? What is life? Can we bring him back? I'm already this weird kid with the whole brain dad, but like maybe the death of the mouse kicked it off. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, there's really no sign of him being this morbid without any kind of background.
Or is he just living up to the name that he was given? Like we mentioned, Frankenstein. And he had that poster that looked like almost like a Frankenstein monster at one point that he ripped down.
Maybe he's obsessed with that. Like, maybe he got teased so much about it. He's like, I'm just going to lean into this. I'll
show you. I'm going to bring my mouse back.
And we also find out that Frank has a crush on Macy, played by Christine Lakin, and she really doesn't. She's not like disgusted by it. She just really has never given him a thought.
Yeah, she doesn't know he exists apparently. She just but she just seems completely disinterested with everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Yeah, she was a very interesting leading lady. I found her a little bit, I don't want to use the word disrespectful. I find her to be very blunt and honest, which I think was wonderful. You know, she's like, look, dude, I don't know you, so no, we're not gonna go out. But that very evening, it was like, oh yeah, sure. Let's hang out. I like you. And like you were giving him googly eyes while he was, you know, trying to buy a ticket. Like there was a little hint of it, but I mean, maybe you guys can tell me, like, even if you do have like a small crush, if you don't know someone,
Right.
would you immediately say yes to a date, or
After
would
that
you give
death
that a shot?
speech?
Or
I would, right. He's already, well, she's apparently not paying attention that he exists.
yeah, I would have moved on from
Back
that.
in her third
like,
grade, or that's
right.
horrible.
That's crazy. But I feel like she could have said, you know what? Why don't we go out this Friday and get to know each other before I commit? But I guess I didn't realize homecoming was literally like the next day, like the timeline.
The time crunch.
They had 90 minutes. I don't know why we didn't get a timeline with this movie. But yeah, I was unsure if I was supposed to like her or even want them together. Yeah.
Is it because we're so used to seeing her on Step by Step, and she played an opposite character? I feel like she was more, was her Al?
Yeah.
She was like more tough, and like this kind, she was just kind of like, hi, I'm alive.
Yeah, she seemed like an everyday 90s teenager. She really did. And her clothes very authentic, like the fits and that. Yeah. It didn't make sense her being friends with those other two girls at all. But did you guys see there was a scene where she had two other friends that were literally like another black lit girl and a blonde girl? Like, were we supposed to notice that like those are different people? Like, who are these?
They were
girls?
their stand-ins. Can you imagine?
I was gonna say stunt doubles, and they didn't even switch them. Oh yeah, this movie really didn't care. There was the cop, so he's talking to, what is it, Lance and Tuttle, or is that his name?
Lance. What a name.
Yeah, Lance
so
and
perfect,
Tuttle.
Lance.
And this was right after Ryan dies, and so they're talking to him, and then like, you know, Frank's in the back, and while they were talking, the boom mic
that was the second time, Rob.
So
that was the second
scene. And it's not like it was one take and they edited out. Like they were like, this is the best take that you guys have delivered these lines. I don't care if this boom mic is showing up. We are keeping this because this is the best take we've got. We got to move on. This mic was in the cut, like the scene, so visibly. I just couldn't believe it. Like, this is definitely indie for sure.
I mean, so in that same scene, you see Ryan in the backseat breathing as well when he's supposed to be dead.
Right.
You get the mic and the breathing, and I'm like, okay. Boltneck head.
So towards the beginning of the movie, they tell Ryan Reynolds' character Carl, who is the most emo person in a bad Michael Jackson wig I've ever seen.
I was shocked when he spun around.
Like, what was that jacket? What did it say on his back of his jacket?
Oh, I think I wrote it down. Punk didn't die, you killed it.
Rock on.
So, like, Lance is like, I'm having a party tonight, and Carl's like, cool. And he's like, you're not invited. And Ken's just like, why? Why would they do that to him? I'm like, because kids are assholes. Like, teenagers are just...
Oh, yes.
But what I don't understand is, Carl, baby boy, not only are you taller than these little punk ass bitches,
right?
You outweigh them. Like,
take them out.
You don't even have to know how to like throw a hand.
But this is, you know, also how morbid this movie is. For one, I completely forgot that this movie is not rated, right? So they basically
doesn't exist. That's right. Three aliases.
They've got masturbation jokes in here. They've got, you know, a sort of absentee father. But the fact that Ryan was so close is because he was getting beaten at home by his abusive father for no apparent reason. Yeah, let's have him get bullied at school, but then also give him an abusive father. And I get it, because the contrast is that when he does become, the serial killer, he's obviously in a position to stand up for himself. And so they gave him this abusive dad. But it's like, if you really want to get deep on something like Boltneck, like that was a choice to just give him this horrible
They tried
life.
it.
And yeah, so I mean, I think he just became this reserved emo because he was taught like he's nothing, and that just sucked. But yeah, he could totally take them all.
But I
all of
feel
them.
like that should have made him actually a bully at school, because his dad was bullying him at home. Not be closed off. He should have been smacking hoes at school.
I felt like that was the catalyst for him to showing up at the party, just because he asked for alcohol.
Mhm.
Yes.
Something else, Prozac, something like some sort of drug.
Yeah.
And the way he was like,
He
this
just
scene.
appears, and I'm like, why
But
are
the
you here,
scene.
Ryan Reynolds?
But this scene, why are we in the dark? I know you're trying to allude that we're like, I don't know, you all hunching in the corners. If they were, I saw full on thrusts.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's happening right now.
Yeah.
We've
But I'm
also
like,
got Lincoln just watching like some
Right.
cuck. I'm like, why are you in the same room when this is happening? Can we go?
Right?
She's like, can we go now? We're all
Like,
done.
bitch, y'all friends are getting in. What you mean, can we go? They're in full on thrust right now. Come on, girl. And why are you standing there looking out the window? Like, they're fully having an orgy right now. You are
Dreaming of a
fucking with
better
the
life.
vibe.
Maybe she was peeking over her shoulder. She kind of just was like, oh, she didn't
Well,
want to really
right.
look.
She's like, I hate it here.
Yeah. Look at this window.
I want to go home. Like, give me a break.
There was a lot of cheeks in this movie, and pinching cheeks.
Okay, so I'm really glad, like, the 90s and early 2000s with, I want to say white movies, right? White males.
Yes.
And like making fun of gay people, but doing shit that would be like, why did you greet these two boys in your class by bending over? I'm surprised he didn't spread them cheeks. Like, it was just a lot.
Yeah.
And then
Unrated version, that's what they have.
Telling him to pinch it, and then to insinuate, y'all are gay, get out of here. You just took your clothes off and asked me to pinch your ass. What is happening right now?
I honestly thought that was going to come full circle when they did that joke at the end. I thought they really were going to end up together.
Tuttle was down. No, Tuttle was down. Tuttle was totally down.
Yeah.
He did reach for Lance, but Lance was like, nope, I'm not there yet. But Tuttle was down. He was
maybe
ready.
College, bro. Maybe college.
They got to go to the big campus monster. That's the sequel. When they go to college.
I feel they do that all the time. And I think when it comes down to a white man writing it or directing it, this is the only way they can express that type of closeness with the guy. They have to be the gayest thing on there without fully going there. And as long as they're bullying or on a sports team, all of that pinch my butt, show mooning is allowed.
It's just fun. It's fun and games.
But that was the mascot of this movie. It was on everywhere. Pinch my butt, the bulletin board, the chalkboard at school, everywhere.
I was like, why does pinch me keep showing up in this movie? It's so weird.
It was a lot. You know what? I watched the new Jennifer Lawrence movie this weekend, and she ended up at some like high school party with some kids, and these guys were like, how old are you, or something like you want to get together or whatever. She's like, why don't you guys go fuck yourselves? And he was like, and then they both bring their phones out and they're like, are you trying to insult us? Like, why would it be an insult that we would fuck each other? There's nothing wrong with us fucking each other. So it's
welcome to the new age. Yeah,
it's so different than a 90s movie.
It definitely is.
So I'm glad we've evolved.
Yeah, the first hint that I got of that's so funny you brought that up. 21 Jump Street did this so well because they wanted to contrast this old school versus new school,
Right.
and that you were not going to see what we saw from the TV show. And they pointed out, wearing the backpack on one arm and being like, oh, that's gay. And it was like, what's wrong with being gay? And I was like, oh, we're doing this now. Oh, wow, we've evolved. Like, okay,
Here
stand
we
up for the guy. I
are.
love that. I want them to definitely keep doing that. But yeah, and then what did it? Bianca's last line, "Hi, gay," and she did the whole.
is that what
she did?
I was like,
Yeah,
woman.
Hey, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think she said hey gay.
She should have.
Hey guys, hey gay. She did one of them. I was like, okay, that's fine. That's fine.
I was like, oh, she knew. No.
So
but Rob knows I'm always ready to make these characters gay in this movie. Like,
you didn't have to try hard. They were doing a lot of the work.
Yeah.
Right there. So we get Lance and Tuttle are now advancing on Carl, who is retreating but also trying to defend himself. So he picks up a shovel, but there's also
a shovel. I thought for a second it was
weed
one
whacker?
of those. Like a lawn leaf,
Yeah.
like lawn thing.
Oh,
it was very It was like a lot of pieces to that thing, and I was like, "What in the hell is that?"
And they back him up into an empty pool, and he falls down, and whatever that weapon is goes through his head, and he's dead. But I want to show you. So we have cameras in our house, and so there's one in the family room. I need to show you my husband's reaction to that scene because he had gone to the kitchen and he came back, and so I'm literally going to share my screen because I was dying at his reaction. Okay, I've literally never even done this before, but okay.
Did you color your hair?
No, the purple's washing out, and so it's getting more blonde.
Oh,
okay. Can you see?
I hear laughter.
Okay,
Oh.
I see it now. You got to rewind it.
Dead in the pool. Deadpool. Foreshadowing.
I would have never come up with that dad joke in my life. That is amazing. Deadpool. I love that.
It's so funny because doing research, and I'm sure this came up, but it said that there was this viral David Beckham commercial for Deadpool 2 that addresses this movie and says it's a masterpiece. So
yes,
I have
love
no
when
doubt
they brought it up.
It's got like this now cult thing, I'm sure, because of that.
Yeah, people started, like, a lot of people didn't know about the movie, and so like when he did that teaser, so in 2018 advertising campaign for Deadpool 2, David Beckham is in it, and they're kind of going back and forth, and Ryan comes dressed as Deadpool trying to say sorry for like making fun of him in the movie, and then he's like, well, you should be apologizing, and he like lists a bunch of Ryan's like commercial flops, including Green Lantern, R.I.P.D., Selfless, and Blade Trinity. But then he's like, oh, and also Boltneck, and Deadpool's like, hold on. Boltneck is a masterpiece. So after that, you could see a bunch of Reddit, like people talking about it on Reddit, like what's Boltneck, and like people going back and watching it after that. So if you didn't know it knew it exists, I guess I missed that campaign because I did not.
I missed that too.
Yeah.
We missed both waves, Danielle.
Yeah. I thought for sure, like, at first when I saw it, I thought this was like a Canadian movie.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah,
Same.
but then I saw like Matthew Lawrence, like so many. I was like, okay, I don't think any of these people are Canadian. So turns out that they actually filmed the movie at Whittier High School in Whittier, California. So
I would have never guessed.
Neither. So now Deadpool is dead.
Dead in the pool.
And I don't know how the girls do not see a dead body in the pool.
No.
And the guys are like horrible actors about like, oh, he ran away. Why don't y'all go home? And so the girls leave completely unbothered. And then they decide to move the body. Now, mind you, Frank is out in these streets. I don't know what Frank doing. There's a thunderstorm happening, and Frank is out here messing with wires and stuff. Good Lord. And the one popo in the county, I guess, pulls the guys over, and they're horrible. Like,
get that boom mic out.
Boom mic. You got a dead man in the back, and also these are high schoolers. He's like, oh, well, it's good that you're designated drivers, sir. They're in high school. I don't even know if they're seniors. They should not be drinking. Like, what is happening here? So you're encouraging. You should be breathalyzing. Like, what the hell is happening? He is the worst cop I've seen in a long time.
And they're acting so suspicious too. So it's like extra.
And he has like, I think they like threw a hat on him or something. Like his head is bloody. Like
apparently the scar was being blocked by some like bar or something in the Jeep. So when he was leaning his head, you couldn't see that there was like a puncture hole or something. But I guess that bought him some time. I'm just surprised how easy it was for these two to consciously decide to get rid of a body. They were not scared one
That
bit.
was the first option.
Right.
Frank did not care at all that a kid just died. For science, I want to bring him back. He was not fazed at all that they just committed murder.
I've been waiting for this.
Just to be popular, I'm going to help you out and keep you out of jail.
Right. Like, he's not even scared. He's lurking, watching all of this go down. And then it's just like so easy. Oh, my dad has a brain. Let me go get it. Like it's a sweater or something. It's a brain.
Oh, this man just pulled this brain out. Didn't need to connect any other wires. And was like, I'm going to just pop this new one in. We're good.
And
that's what got the one glove
into the brain when he was pulling it out of the jar that was too small for the brain.
He couldn't even get it out. Like, I was just like, what is happening?
Can someone answer though? Maybe not. But I kept saying, okay, yes, it makes sense that his brain would be damaged because he fell for such a height. But it looked okay. And then as he was pulling it out, like you said, he's like literally squeezing this other brain. And I'm just like, how is this any different? How is this any different?
I don't know. I've held a brain before. Ooh. And it is not like a fun thing to be trying to put, like, I could not see my hand bareback in it and just like pulling it out. Because it's so slimy and I could imagine that brain had to be in some sort of formaldehyde. You can't put a formaldehyde brain back in. Like, what are we doing? And sanitary wise, like when you're doing surgery, you need things to be sterile. Like, I've watched enough Grey's Anatomy, so I have my doctorate
in Grey's Anatomy. Yep.
Right. I went to medical school at
that's what I said.
Seattle Grace.
When my mom concussed herself, I said I pulled out my Grey's Anatomy degree and just made sure, like, I was looking at the dilation. I was asking her questions. I knew what to do because I got my degree.
100%. Like, I just knew all of this was wrong. All of it was wrong.
Yeah, and Frankenstein's got some up because even Frankenstein's monster didn't even get a cohesive like speech. Right. Conscious, like he didn't remember who he was before. This dude literally he still had every single memory that he had before his death.
Yep.
I don't know. Locker at school, I kept saying that's what got me out of everything, not the brain being held. How did he know the locker? Which locker to go to?
Yes. He knew which locker to go to. He didn't know the passcode, but
yeah, he knew when to go home, and yeah.
I don't know.
It's my main complaints, the locker.
Right.
This whole thing.
No, my biggest thing was y'all killed this man. Y'all did some unsanitary surgery. And then afterwards, you don't even have the boy sleep over your house so you can monitor or watch him. You just drop him off.
Yeah.
Not even brought him in the house. Drop him off outside.
Didn't even walk him up. You're right.
No.
Not a text me when you get home. No, nothing. Yeah. He's like, you're not our problem anymore. You're alive. You do what you want. If you die after you leave this car,
Right.
that is
You
it.
hit your head at school. Bye.
Those haphazard staples don't get infected.
Right. Like, and you're putting like a hat, you're not even, there's a Neosporin. I'm just so frustrated by this whole thing.
But it's going to grow back. That was the thing, too. The dead skin will start to become alive again.
It's not making sense.
There was toes involved, too. There was electricity to toes and ears.
Why? And earlobe. Why?
I also just feel like Frank should have had more notes. Like, I don't feel like he was really observant. Like, what kind of scientist is just like, all right, go away?
His first human, all it took was a mouse for him to be an expert, and he was ready for the human trial. So,
like, peace be with you.
Right.
You're welcome.
And then the boy comes in with he's styling leather jeans or pants.
Leather pants.
Where were these clothes before? Did he go steal them?
Maybe they were in Dad's closet.
Oh my god.
And also, homeboy had to go get a haircut. So how did that work?
And it was dyed.
Well, they cut, right? Didn't they say they cut out some of the blood? So was that them, AKA gave him a haircut? Because like, we have to cut some of this blood out of his head. That was, oh my goodness.
So is that one of their skills as well? They
barbering.
are...
They did the Frenchie in Greece. They gave him leather pants after school and everything.
I wonder if they sang Beauty School Dropout.
Yeah. But they should have at this point.
All this movie kept doing was giving me questions. But you know what? I didn't get a feeling while watching it like I can't watch this anymore. I just kept laughing and saying, yes. Lord Jesus.
Yeah.
The whole time.
Ken just kept turning around saying, what are we watching? I was like, this. I don't know.
Campus? Neck?
But this performance must have done something to you, Jackie, because you want to rewatch Two Guys and a Girl in a pizza shop.
Wanting to rewatch it, and it's not streaming anywhere. You can buy the DVD on Amazon, which is a last resort for me because then that ties me to the TV.
Mm-hmm.
Right. What's that character in Sky High again that you love?
Oh, War and Peace.
I'm going to say this is the low rent version of War and Peace's look.
100%.
This was the starting ground of War and Peace.
Yes.
I'm glad they perfected it.
Even when his voice goes gravelly, like that is War and Peace's voice all the time.
Yeah. There you go.
I'm mad. Have you all seen the cinematic classic War and Peace or
Sky High?
I have seen Sky High. I haven't gotten to the level of quote yet.
Is it?
But it is a very good movie.
The one with Jude Law?
No.
Oh my god.
This is Bruce Campbell. This is Bruce.
In the World of Tomorrow.
You almost had it. No, this is Bruce Campbell, Kurt Russell, Kelly
Bruce
Preston.
Campbell.
You know, everybody's a superhero.
I know. Oh, now I know what you're talking about. But oh my god, wrong movie.
I don't even know where we go from here.
Hey guys, I'm Darcy, founder of Spirit.
And I'm Kelly, the Chief Technical Officer of Spirit.
Back in 2011, we formed the Supernatural Paranormal Investigations and Research Institute, searching for answers to mysterious things that were happening in our little corner of Canada.
And we haven't stopped searching for those answers ever since. Join us on our podcast, Canadian Spirit, as we dive into all of Canada's most famous and forgotten paranormal mysteries. Examine the evidence and try to figure out what might be behind Canada's ghosts, cryptids, and UFO encounters.
In Canadian Spirit, you'll get a peek behind the curtain and see for yourself what being a paranormal investigator is really like, and learn something about Canadian history, which isn't as boring as it sounds.
Even if it is, we're a pair of chuckle fucks, so we'll do our best to make it entertaining.
So come along for the ride and discover for yourself what makes the land of maple and hockey so wonderfully weird.
You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Podchaser, wherever you find your podcasts. And remember,
Raccoons are aliens, werewolves are perverts, and ghosts are just downright rude sometimes.
So Carl goes home and
Right.
beats up Dad, and is like, "You're never
Yes.
gonna."
I
let
thought
me
he
something
beats.
again."
I thought he beat up Dad after the police brought him home. So
Well,
the
yes.
first night we don't see
Yeah.
his life.
He
He
was
just
getting the leather pants.
right.
Yes.
We just see him show up to school, Crocodile Dundee the locker with his big ass knife,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone's like, "What happened
Oh.
to Carl?"
He hot.
Right.
That's all it took.
And also, can we talk about what a shitty friend that Frank is
Yeah.
Dropped his
who?
friend as soon as.
to his only goddamn friend?
Yeah.
Oh, Jordy.
Yeah,
I forgot because he didn't talk to Jordy anymore.
right. They were cool, and then those Tweedledum and Tweedledummer come up,
Yeah.
and they're like, "What's up, my boy?"
Go
And then he's
away.
like-
That's all it took.
Bye. I was like, the disrespect.
I understand that he wanted to get the girl, but I don't remember them ever mentioning him wanting to be popular to the point of
Right.
like dissing his friend. That whole popular angle just kind of came out of nowhere, but apparently he needed to be popular in order to get the girl, I'm assuming.
I don't even think so, because it's not
Yeah.
even
No, I
those
don't
two
think-
knuckleheads that get him introduced to the girl.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
his crazy monster.
And the
They were
tiki
like-
party. Come on, that was it.
Yeah.
They were like, we can only have you black folks in this movie for so long. We
Right.
need a reason
Scoot
for him
along.
to like go away. But honestly, it just saved Kenny from a lot of the drama. Like he would not be involved in this mess.
Yeah.
So having him there would have just been a disservice for him. But
But that is a
you know-
dropped plot. You're right. Like that's a dropped thing, because that would have been a fun thing to play off of him trying to hide things, maybe, and like
Yeah.
him knowing, like, oh, what's wrong? You're hiding something from me.
Right.
Well, and can we also talk about poor Andrea and the therapy that she needs, and instead she goes and gets new boobies?
Oh my.
I've never
poor woman.
seen breast implants in a 1-2 shop.
High up here?
No, like she went and bought them next day.
Yes.
Express.
Yeah.
No,
She was
no
just like-
healing.
She
nothing.
drove to Canada or someplace. She
I,
drove-
let me know where those titties are at, where you can get them express like that. Because what in the hell?
yeah, I was
He
very
was gone
curious.
for 24 hours.
I was curious what happened with their date. You know, she's running, he's doing this improv dance with the flashlight, and then all of a sudden there's a scream, and that's it. She's like, I'm gonna go get new boobs tomorrow because
Yeah.
this date
Decided not to go
has
to school.
inspired me.
So, okay, let's back up.
Yeah.
Lots of stuff happens, but
They buy the homecoming tickets.
right.
And
so,
while Frank is talking to Macy, who is the treasurer in charge of the money for the homecoming tickets, Frank is stealing all the money out of the cash box.
right, and Macy rejects Frank's offer to go to homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
So then Carl says, "You know what? Frank is actually throwing a party at his house because he had mentioned that his parents were out of town and he was house
At
sitting."
a brain convention.
Right, a brain. Jesus Christ.
They're fun. They're a fun family.
Right. And of course, just like in House Bunny, the way to become popular is to have a tiki party.
Yes.
Unless you're a bunch of
Just
racists in
impressed.
Virginia, then or
Yeah.
Charlottesville.
Yeah.
Then no, not that kind of tiki party.
How did they decorate this whole entire thing after school?
With all the money, he hired party
so
planners.
that okay, so that makes so much more sense.
But
And,
like,
I
how
mean,
much money have they
I-
raised for homecoming?
Don't think about it too much.
I just want to say that while being a cashier, once in many different retail stores. I get having the drawer open for easy access will make the line go faster, but it's not like that she was during rush hour.
Right.
This woman barely had anybody in line. She was begging for that money to be stolen. I'm sorry, I don't have
it was
any
almost
sympathy.
like, come get it.
Yeah.
If your like corner of your eye cannot visually see that this man took this money, you don't deserve to be treasurer. It had no business being far from you. And it just, she was begging for it. I'm sorry, I just had no sympathy for that money being stolen. I just didn't.
No, and look how long. Also, riddle me this. It was time to take that lockbox back, right?
Yes.
Did she not open it?
Nope.
Did she not?
Not at all.
She just
closed the lid.
Did she not break
open?
more people's tickets? That's what I kept thinking. If anyone else coming with cash, that she had to break the cash. No.
She did say that they were the last people that bought tickets. So she did say that. But that just means like she was willfully ignorant and didn't open the damn box to make sure count the money for the day or nothing. Treasurer my ass.
Yeah.
Need to be fired.
And you know, good for the teacher. Good for the teacher to get in her face like, you got 24 hours and you do not want to know what I'll do.
Was unhinged.
But that
and needed to be fired.
Exactly. He is talking to taxidermied squirrels. Are we sure he didn't steal that money himself? Because he conveniently is like, you know what? It was actually shoved in this shady envelope in my desk all the way to the back.
He said it was under nuts or something, or a squirrel something.
So can you trust this man? Exactly. Unhinged, Danielle.
It's you know what, this is that role that always happens in these movies where you get a comedian and you throw them in this role and they're like, let me just do some of my own my own stuff. That motherfucker was talking to himself in the weirdest ways, and I was just like, this is not funny, it's creeping me out. You're killing the vibe.
Yeah, they
could have cut all his scenes out and it would be fine.
Yes, speed it up. Speed it up.
Speed up this 129-minute movie, please.
I was shocked at that length, actually.
I still have to give him grace though, because he voices my favorite animated character, and so I can't be mad at him.
Which character is it?
He is Roger Rabbit.
Is that why he was doing those voices, that Igor voice? Like, Frank.
He is a voice actor for sure. He even did the robot in the Wes Craven movie Deadly Friend. Do you remember the robot in the beginning before the brain of the robot goes into Christy Swanson? He was the voice of that robot as well. But yeah, I always look at him and see Roger Rabbit, so I'm just like, oh.
And I would like to just keep him there. He didn't need to be in this movie.
No, that's fair.
Like he's very talented, but just it was unhinged and weird. And maybe when this movie came out, maybe people knew that this is who he was, and it was just like, oh, I got it. But now I'm like, who the hell is this?
And why are you accusing me of stealing when the envelope is in your desk under those nuts?
It's like crazy that he was trying to shake her down like a mobster. Like clearly she didn't lose them. Like he'd be like, oh man, we've got to find out who did this. Not you got 24 hours before I come beat your ass up later. Like it's a little much.
I think he would have gotten
money.
Fired if the money didn't turn up. Like I don't think anything would have happened to her. He would have definitely lost his job.
Him, you think?
Yeah, they can't just blame a kid for this. I mean, he's responsible.
Not even
because you know
something.
A full-on investigation.
I would
stole
too.
This
all that money.
Well, and so we have the party. Macy and Frank talk for hours, and then she's like, "Okay, you're cool. Let's go to homecoming,"
which is like tomorrow, apparently.
Yeah. And then he also has money to hire a cleaning service to clean up the entire house before his parents get home the next morning.
Mm-hmm.
And then when his parents get home, he's like, I'm going to homecoming, which most parents would be like, Amazing.
Hey,
Good
yeah.
job. You're getting out of the house.
Right.
You're not playing with the soldering iron tonight. Good job. And he asks to use the car. The dad responds by saying it's not a car, it's a van, which it is.
Yes.
It's a Volkswagen.
And then walked away
Westphalia.
like, ask again.
Yes. And then Frank says, I'm going with a girl. And the dad asks, did you inseminate her?
This close. It gets really close to him. And he's like,
This
in that
question
van.
is so telling
Sure.
to the type of man and father he is. I mean, it really spoke volumes. He clearly works to not be at home. Like,
Oh.
did not want this child. And like, if it wasn't for these brains, my life would not be like. The only reason I am here is because I inseminated your mom. And you're just gonna have to deal because I mean, if you weren't into the things that I'm into, I just would never talk to you.
She must be
ever
too.
again.
She went to the convention or the
Look,
She
dinner.
didn't seem too
Let me-
distraught in her marriage too. She really loves this man, and they did have
They
like a
have
moment.
the kinkiest fucking sex
Yeah,
ever. Those two.
I'm
Okay.
sure it's good.
I know he says inseminate, and so we think that they're having very clinical like sex. Them two freaks.
Mhm.
Okay. I don't even think there was a convention. And you know what, like, really summed this up for me is at the end, they're just talking normal, and he just dives at her and just starts making out with her, almost to the point where Shelley Duvall looked scared.
That's what made her quit acting.
And she wasn't ready for it. But them two having freaky ass sex. That's why the dad is mad. When is this boy gonna be out of our house so we can walk around naked and do our things?
That's what keeps them two together. And I would have seen the hotel over this. I feel like I would have want to
Yes.
have gone with their journey and then maybe check in with Frank
Yeah.
and the
Yes,
gang.
maybe.
And then the dad says, Frank says some throwaway line about how Einstein didn't pass calculus or something like that. And then the dad said, come back to me when you've made a discovery, a scientific discovery,
As
and I'll
like,
give you the van.
well, as important
Wow.
as like the something of relativity or whatever.
Yes,
theory.
yes.
So
Something like that.
yeah,
With-
something as high caliber as that,
It-
I guess.
It escalated quickly. He just wants to drive a girl to homecoming. So the answer is no. And
Right.
she ends up having to drive them to homecoming.
Which she said she was fine with it.
Yeah. And then at homecoming, Lance and Darian win homecoming king and queen. And then they start making out under the bleachers. What were the noises that were happening?
I don't know.
It went to the barn.
Yes. I'm
There
like,
was
I was very confused by all the coupling, by the way.
me too.
The only couple that like made that I knew for sure was Frank and what's her name?
Macy.
Macy. But the rest of that
They
situation
were
was
mixing it up.
confusing.
But they kind of
because-
did like kind of just mix and matched, it seemed.
Right. And the guys like didn't like, and this is where we know that
Mm.
they don't care that they're switching up, going back and forth with their
Exactly.
girls because they want to be with each other.
mhm.
That bathroom scene was very telling.
Yeah.
What was that?
They were-
I don't know
They
what
were
was happening.
fingering their hands underneath the,
And then-
I should restate that.
Please don't. It was perfect the way you said it.
There was some kind of action going underneath the stall, their hands. They were saying, yes, we're here for each other. We'll
Well,
It-
trade or something.
was
what?
someone puking the entire
Yes,
time in another
the
stall?
entire time. And it like I think I had looked away for a second and I was like, oh, are they throwing up? I kept waiting for this movie to take like a real horror turn where like he was starting to kill them off one by one. So I thought
Mhm.
like, because one of them was drinking, I think it was Tuttle. I thought, oh my God, he's throwing up because he got poisoned. Like I missed
Ooh.
something. And I was like, oh no, they're finger banging in the bathroom.
I know for a serial killer, he didn't kill anyone.
He
That's
didn't
what I
kill
mean. Was he-
anyone.
Was he a serial killer?
Right. And once they said he killed young girls, I was like, hold on, is he a rapist too? Like, this is very not safe for these children.
Yeah, he killed no one over the course of the movie. So they, spoiler alert, end up chopping his brain in half just because he was kind of obnoxious, question mark?
Right. Like, he didn't kill anybody. Well, what he did to Macy was sexual assault.
Yes.
Oh,
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And
He hit a breaking point. I
Yeah.
think, like, I don't care that these two kids killed you, but no, you were going to kill a grown man and in front of his food truck. And that's where I draw the
Right.
line. You got to be put
But
down now.
What was
Right.
that like? It seems like he was shaken by the mob or something.
Yes.
Or like he was an arranged thing. So it almost made it seem like they were playing with that he was wrongfully maybe accused of being this. I don't know. That's how I took it, because
It
at this
was
point I didn't know
weird.
what was going on.
I thought that scene he was gonna switch and say a word, and his friend, it would have been like a friend, and be like, oh my God, how do you but why would you go back?
Yes.
Why would you, okay, you need money, right?
Mhm.
But why would you go back to a street vendor to try to kill them when the last time you tried to steal from them, they killed you?
Yeah.
Like, it's not making sense. And also, there was a lady in the truck the whole time
Just witnessing the whole thing. Yeah.
saying her prayers to the Lord.
Yeah, did you
While
feel
this
like
is
that
all
was
happening.
added in? It was just like seemed like they just dubbed that in
Right.
because they realized, oh, there's that woman looking in the back. We need to add dialogue.
It's so weird. But okay, we've got
I
too
know.
far. But after the party, well, after homecoming, right? What's his name? I forgot. Okay, Carl leaves with Andrea, and they're like making out, and then when she takes his hat off, she sees that like he has those like crazy stitches, and she starts screaming, which, I mean, girlfriend,
Didn't look that bad, honestly.
it wasn't that bad. Like,
No.
what are you screaming about? And then he, like we talked about, he does that flashlight thing, and then we just cut and we don't know. The next day we find out like that Andrea's missing. She didn't come home. And also we find out that the money's missing. But I do love that, what's her name? Darian is like in the bathroom combing her lovely locks.
Mhm.
And it's just saying to Macy, girl, don't stress that. Out of those two things, focus on the money. And who was the last person that you sold tickets to? Sounds like it's your boy Frank.
Smart.
And what's her face? She'll show up again eventually. She probably recommended where to go get them tits done.
Yeah.
That's probably why she wasn't stressed.
I'm gonna disappear first, but
Right.
Like,
really,
I like chaos. I'm gonna plant the seed. You guys have fun. I'm gonna
that's
just watch
terrible.
from the side.
But why did it seem in that scene when she unveils the hat and you see the bolts that's when I feel like they went to the 50s, because it kind of was like Make Out Point, and all of a
Right.
sudden this 50s jazz song that they played over and over again, there was like a stock song played, and then there was like random teenagers in the back. Like, I was like, this is the 1950s. What happened? Where are we?
Right.
Make Out Point.
Also, when they first leave, the boys roll up in their matching Ken Jeeps. And this is when Carl gives them the business, finally putting his weight in it
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
knocking these mofos out, because they ain't nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
No.
how are these the bullies in your school for real?
Justice.
And then like their conclusion, instead of like saying, you know what, we need to stop acting like assholes, is to start beating up Frank again and saying, you fixed him after we killed him, so it's your problem, and we're gonna pants you.
Yeah.
Make it make
Nice
sense.
boxers, by the way.
Right.
My God, this teacher.
Poor Frank.
The teacher is ridiculous.
Fired.
I just feel like Frank, and also now Frank is getting the business from Macy, who's like, I can't trust you. But she doesn't have, like, you're mad at Frank because you think Frank stole the money. Frank has pretty much said it was Carl, essentially. And what do? You get dressed for Halloween and you go to Carl's house. Who stole your money?
because it could not be him. It had to be Frank. It had to be Frank.
Well, and Frank warns her, like, Carl's bad news. Do not go with Carl. Like, just stay home. In that Halloween costume,
what was it? What was
I have
that?
no idea who she
I
was
think
supposed
she
to
was
be.
like the bride of Frankenstein, to tell you the
Oh,
truth.
that would be hysterical.
Probably. Yeah, I have to get dressed for Halloween and go to this party because it's the only way I'm gonna find out where Andrea is. That is my mission. I don't get that. Why
Things happen quickly though.
I don't like Frank, but I'm gonna go. I don't like Carl, but I'm gonna go to his party, and I'm not gonna trust Frank. That just the two don't.
And do
so
we
much
stumble
sense.
into like the Halloween party at Eyes Wide Shut? Because that's
Right.
what it
Yes.
felt like to me.
And the way that Carl like dragged her to the basement was, I was scared for her.
Me too.
I was very scared for her, and I thought that throughout the movie they had shown that she was this type of girl who wouldn't take that.
Mhm.
It's just funny how she then became the damsel at that moment, because I feel her character is a lot tougher to not necessarily to thwart him and get away, but just be like, what are you doing? You know, like,
Right.
you know,
I feel
defend
like
a little bit.
I think she was shocked because like all the years that she had known Carl, he was very soft spoken and quiet and stuff. So like, yes, it's been 3 days of speed horror craziness, but like I think she just didn't think that he would do something like that. And the way he pulled her was so fast, and he's so much bigger than her. Like, I kind of understand her. Like, I feel like she should have been more forceful. Like, what the hell? But
Yeah.
I think she was probably like, what's happening?
Just in shock.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Frank's getting pulled over because he's going under the speed limit. And the
A
cop,
cop again.
Right. Ain't
the
got
cop
nothing
is
to do.
the worst cop I've ever seen. Like, he just is apathetic in his job at best.
If you
Right.
see a cop chewing gum, just fire him. just let him go. Give him his pension. Because it's just no good.
The
Dirty
town only
cop.
has the one though, so
Right.
they
Just
wouldn't
the
have
one.
anyone else to take over. He's doing all shifts, evidently. Every
Yeah.
shift, no backup.
Frank makes the executive decision to speed off in this
In the
air-cooled
Scooby van.
van. Not a Scooby van, Danielle. Is
I know it's a
Oh, yeah.
VW, and the Scooby van is like an actual
a
van.
GMC. Focus. So then all of a sudden Andrea shows up with her new boobs, and she's like, oh yeah, I just got the express job done.
Right. Like, where is this happening?
I don't know, but they were like up here, and I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not where boobs live, ma'am.
That's why it was so quickly and so cheap, probably. No experience needed.
And they were glossy too. Like,
Yeah.
did you oil them up? Like, what's happening right now?
Because that is a breastplate. That is
Oh.
not, those are not real boobs.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
So then, who shows up first? Is it Lance and Tuttle that are down?
Yeah, they
come.
Well, no, Frank comes down first, and then Frank is getting his ass beat, and then Tuttle and Lance come, and Lance is dressed as a woman? Question mark. What is he dressed as?
They were trying to play again with this. They're like, give him every stereotype you can think of. We're just gonna throw on this. But then later on, was that was that supposed to be their true selves or something? Because later on in the credits, they're dancing as I
don't know. But something happens where the whole party sees them. Like, oh, I think Carl knocks out Tuttle, and so
yeah,
Lance
they have
is...
they have a scuffle because the gun did not go off because Frank took all the bullets. Like, that was very bold. I guess there you go. There was the serial killer. He did attempt, but it didn't work.
Oh, yeah.
And so instead of shooting him, he just, pistol whips him and knocks him out. And so Lance is trying to revive him with CPR, and they get caught kissing-ish, I guess, or him hovering over him. and trying to revive him. So they're like, oh, we knew this. I get it now. Explains a lot.
Yeah.
That's the thing, like the fact that it really everyone was like, it's adding up.
Yeah.
They know.
The math is math in here.
And
no
then
one questioned it.
Carl is chasing Frank, and then I don't know if it shows it or if I blinked or somehow Frank gets Carl on the little watermelon guillotine.
Yeah,
Ow.
after he comes up the steps, he's hiding behind a hallway with a 2x4 and knocks him out.
Yes.
And he just got the upper hand and then managed to tie him up and put him in this thing with all these witnesses, and nobody said a word.
Yes. And like
then puts a bunny hat on him.
They thought it was a show, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't. And like he Dexter saran wraps him to the guillotine.
Mm-hmm.
That was a nice touch.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he uses the guillotine, chops his skull off, and kills Carl again. Well, he didn't kill him the first time. Carl is dead again.
Mm-hmm.
And so then he goes to his dad and is like, hey, I got the serial killer brain. Here you go. By the way, I need the old brain back, or I need the good brain that you're performing experiments on. Dad's like, oh, we already got rid of it.
But by the way, I took the other braid and I fixed it.
Yeah, I sutured it up.
Quiet. Crickets.
Like,
the dad
son,
doesn't ask any questions.
You're into my thing. You want to know about my work? Oh, kill anybody you want.
Right.
As long as we can have a father-son bonding, I'm totally down for this.
I knew I stayed for a reason, like you said earlier.
And Dad is so fucking proud when Carl comes back to life for the second time. He's like, you were in that van.
And show him your brain and I'll show you mine or something like that. What?
My favorite line in the whole movie is, ow.
Oh
That's what Carl says when he wakes up.
Ryan.
And this time they put electrodes on his nipples.
Yeah, they didn't have the earlobes anymore, so they had to get it from somewhere.
But but what is that, a grounding unit? Like you're grounding them to the nipples?
I don't know. A lot is happening. One thing we didn't mention was the first time they brought him back to life was that as soon as he got up, he tried to, he hugged Tuttle, and these motherfuckers hit him with glass bottles on his head. We are trying to keep him alive. What are you doing?
They're like, don't throw my cover out yet. They're still trying to play with that whole thing.
And then, what was I gonna say? Oh, the amount of slow-mo sparks and just as Carl is reanimating, I was like, this could be cut way down.
Yeah.
That's where the budget probably
Carl's
went.
coming back.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is where Dad and Mom make out after Dad tells Mom, I gave the van to y'all live in the same house. Why can't we share this van?
Right.
Strange
Is this
family.
Is it the only car? I'm just very confused because I felt like the mom wanted to say, bitch, this is the only transportation we have. What are you talking about?
How are we going to go to the hotel this weekend?
Right. And this is when the dad jumps the mom. So, yeah.
And then the next scene is where Lance and Tuttle show up at school and they're like, someone says it's Darian says the entire school knows and mentions Ellen and Burton.
Oh, yes.
No, it's not
Burton
Darian
Ernie.
who says it. It's the other girl.
Andrea. Is it
Andrea
Andrea?
says it. She comes in glowing with her new breasts.
Mhm.
And then everyone's like, ooh, look at that rack. And then she starts talking about them as a couple.
And
She
they're
was like, you don't have
still
to act like
confused.
you like my boobs. It's okay.
Yeah.
Just, be yourselves. We get it and we still love you.
Right, which I thought was very loving.
It was very sweet. You just ruined the moment with Miss Bianca coming around the corner with this line.
Oh yeah, gay, like Guy Ritchie.
Yeah.
Gay. Just that thing.
And then
Just
we
like,
see
"Hi,
Carl, and he shows up with a bandage. I'm like, well, at least he bandaged his head.
Yes.
And it says "do not touch" on it. And I was like, well, that's pretty funny. And then he runs into emo girl, and it seems like it's love at first sight.
Let me ask a question. Not only did you do this to this man once, you did it twice, and you sent him to his house again by himself. I mean, you get more care after a concussion, it seems, than this man got from 2 brain transplants. And he doesn't remember, it wasn't him, so he doesn't know anything that's been going on the last few days. So he's probably still scared at home. He doesn't know that his dad knows.
Or they're like
that,
buddies in a way,
right.
or yeah.
What does he remember though?
Not like falling in that pool. That's the last thing.
Yeah, pretty much.
He has a couple day deficit.
Yeah.
He still thinks it's Tuesday.
Right. He missed the homecoming dance, everything.
Well, that was coming up quick. You know, when Halloween was the next day, you had to have that costume ready already. Couldn't skip.
And then Lance and Tuttle are back to bullying Frank. But Macy doesn't care. She comes and apologizes because math teacher or science teacher has told her he found the money. And then they have the weirdest makeout session. It was so awkward. And I get it, it's like high school, it's supposed to be awkward. But then like it went on too long and I'm like, I don't need to see
I
it.
wonder if they dated in the past because they look like they were really into this kiss scene.
I was wondering if they were dating during this because they had vibes.
Yeah,
100%.
it definitely had vibe. He was, I mean, that was very open mouth. That wasn't called for. It wasn't asked. He went for it. He went for it. I have a feeling they probably were an item. That's my explanation.
I'm Googling it right
I am
now.
too.
It's like a great time, like around the same time I could see that, right? Like she's
this
on
is
ABC.
while the teacher watches. He's not going to interrupt, but when the moment comes, I'll say the word teenagers and walk away.
And I think aside from the really weird, stupid dance party during the credits, that is Boltneck.
That's she forgave him and lived happily ever after. And
Matthew had some nice moves in the dance thing, right? He kind of like opened up a little and he was getting ready for his TLC future.
Yeah, I did like the little dancing scene at the end. I can't see anything about them dating. He did date Danielle Fisher, which I had no idea.
Oh,
yeah. No, I knew about that.
I did not know they dated.
Interesting.
Huh. Well,
it was worth a shot. Now
you heard it here
that scene
first.
is very
Exclusive.
I tried to give him some grace. I don't know what the kiss came from.
They
but
could have been though, you know.
I mean, it might not have been official. I mean, again, we didn't even know what Bolthead was.
Boltneck,
Boltneck. See, there I go again.
Hashtag what?
I'm gonna call it what I want at this point.
There you go.
It's got 3 damn names.
What's another one exactly? The 4th.
Just digesting, letting this movie marinate in my head. But before we get into the ratings rewind again, why don't you guys tell everybody where they can find your podcast and your social handles?
So you can find the podcast on Apple, Spotify, Red Circle, all those good places. Radical Retro Rewind Podcast, one word, on Instagram. And we're on YouTube, TikTok. I'm trying the Twitter thing. Rob is always trying to get me on Twitter, and I cannot handle it. I don't know why. So really, Instagram is the place to find us and connect if you want to find us.
And you guys can, as always, find us at No More Life Phase on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, and Threads. Now let's get into the ratings rewind for present day ratings. I'm going to start with you, Ryan.
Okay. I feel like it's either a masterpiece, like they're saying, or it's the craziest movie you've ever seen. So it's like, I don't know. I'm like in between. Like, is this a masterpiece? Maybe that is a masterpiece. So you know what? I'm gonna go 2-day rental.
Okay. Rob?
Okay, I have a very specific scale when it comes to ratings, and I just want to be entertained. I don't need Oscar writing and, great performances, like not even to hate on soap operas, but I watch soap operas. Like I could bypass all of that stuff as long as I'm entertained. And so unfortunately, this movie didn't do that well to entertain me. And while looking past all of the indie, the TV movie like tone, it just wasn't a cohesive movie. And I didn't really laugh out loud. And it just, like the nostalgic of it all, seeing these stars in the stacked cast was fun, but it just wasn't enough for any kind of repeated watching or even a recommendation. So, there are a lot of people out there who would love to hate watch. And I think even with a group of people, you could really have a good time. Outside of that, I'm sorry, this is a same day rental trash.
I think if we had nostalgia for it, let's say if we grew up with this and this was like a repeated thing, I think we would really have liked this better.
I feel like this is like a cross between a Disney spooky movie and Idle Hands, like a dirty comedy, but it's like it didn't know where it wanted to go, because like I think it should have leaned into more like killing everybody, but it just didn't. So it's gonna be a same day rental. Like it was really cool discovering it, but I'm not watching this again.
I'm gonna go Danielle. I'm gonna go 2-day rental. I feel like I will be the one that's like, hey guys, and then just sit back and watch, because it was fun, because I watched it with my husband, and it was fun to watch his reactions to the movie. And now that I know what's going on, I could literally just put the movie on, not watch it, and just watch the people I'm with for their reactions. So 2-day rental.
Also, goals for you and your husband. I would love to show someone a movie that, even if they didn't get it or know why they were watching it, to appreciate it and just have fun with what it is they're watching, because they trust you. Or maybe you two have similar tastes, but that is so goals to me, because I'll tell you, the moment I show somebody a movie that clearly is not in their wheelhouse, they will let you know. And they will make sure you know to regret ever showing it. So I appreciate him for doing this journey with you and having, I want to say, a lot of fun with it. So that's awesome.
Yes, he is a very good sport, and he does listen to the podcast. So he tries, when we're not traveling here and there, to watch the movies with me, so that when he listens to it, and then
He'll
I have
that's nice
references. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. And then I also have stories of just his reactions to things as we're watching it.
Well, the video was great too. I loved that, having that video presentation.
And is definitely always down to clown around with us with this stuff. So it's nice to have the support. Like, we have really good people in our lives that will watch these movies with us. I'm really sad Rena didn't get to watch this one, because
you need to sit down. This and Killjoy, double feature.
Oh my God, Killjoy! No, you did not. Are you talking about the movie or the TV show?
The movie. There's a TV show.
Well, not based on the movie, but there is a sci-fi show that came out called Killjoy. I believe it's a zombie-ish sort of thing.
We did The movie.
Oh my Jesus. I can just that poster and that box when I walk down that aisle.
That movie.
I will never forget. Yeah, this is blockbuster stuff right here. That box sitting on that shelf was a moment.
Oh, the teeth.
Yes, the teeth, exactly.
Well, if you have watched Boltneck, or if you have insider information and can confirm Matthew Lawrence and Christine Lakin dated at one point, hit us up at our quick drop 909-601-NMLF 909-601-6653. Please call in. We just get spam calls, or we get text messages from some guy looking or some lady looking for Daryl, and I'm like, I'm not Daryl. I apologize.
Sorry, Daryl doesn't live
But
here.
have you seen Boltneck? Come on now.
And don't forget to join us next week for another wonderful movie or 90s 2000s classics. We haven't decided yet.
Mm-mm.
We haven't decided. We are figuring it out.
And thank you, Ryan and Rob, for joining us.
Oh.
This was lovely, and I had so much fun.
Yeah, we
Thank
really
you.
did.
Thank
It was
you.
a
This-
pleasure. Thank you for inviting us.
And it really made the movie. It really made the movie, this conversation.
And as always, be kind and rewind.